Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. Deadline, Saturday 10 September 2016. The Royal City of Benin, capital of Edo State, and all 18 local government areas across the state's 3 senatorial districts.
We are to have a date with history.
On that historic Saturday, the great and industrial citizens of the state,
we are ready to head to the polls
to elect the next executive governor of Edo State and thus determine who will pilot the affairs of our great state as the occupant of Government House, Osadebe Avenue, GRA, Benin City. Unfortunately, that historic day was summarily aborted by INEC. The APC government-controlled police and the Department of State Security, DSS, suddenly threw a spanner into the works, alleging an unnamed and unexplained security threat, just 2 days to the election. This is in spite of INEC's insistence that they were ready for the election just a day before. Without further consultation with the opposition parties like the PDP and others, INEC announces a new date of the 28th of September 2016, or Wednesday, and a day almost clashing with the advertised 26th of September date for the coronation of the new Oba of Benin. There are a motley of about 19 parties fitting candidates for these September 10 elections. However, the ruling All Progressive Congress APC and the main opposition People's Democratic Party PDP stand in pole position. As a standalone exercise, the Edo State 2016 election has hogged most headlines in the last year, both in Nigeria and across the Nigerian diaspora, especially among persons of Edo extraction. The most contentious issue is the purported and alleged imposition of both the governorship and the deputy governorship candidates of the APC on both the party and the people by the outgoing incumbent, Comrade Adams Ali Oshiomhole. It is a few days to election day, and it has become necessary and incumbent on well-meaning Edo citizens to avail all our people of the facts, the figures, the intrigues. The ungubernatorial conduct of the outgoing governor has thus triggered a need for a surgical investigation of the real and hidden motives behind the alleged imposition. Why the unstatesmanly insistence of Governor Oshiomhole on the chairman of his economic team, Mr. Godwin Obaseki? Who is the real Godwin Obaseki? What are his unadvertised antecedents? Why is Philip Shaibu a foster brother of the incumbent governor and maybe the most notorious sitting legislator from Edo State chosen as running mate?
The police in Edo State, south of Nigeria, have arraigned the majority leader of the Edo State House of Assembly, Philip Shaibu, and other lawmakers before an Oredo magistrate court in Benin over an alleged attack on a member of the State Assembly, Abdul Razak Momo, at the legislative quarters. Tuesday night, Momo was attacked by suspected thugs and allegedly beaten to a coma before he was rushed to the University of Benin Teaching Hospital.
What is the current APC governor's real scorecard outside of the bandit propaganda of the comrade governor? When our people went to the polls in 2007 to vote Oshiomhole into office, the Edo people envisioned a dream, a fairy tale.
That is why, without compassion, without agreement, we enter into a spiritual agreement with you that we must follow you.
Today, and after close to 8 years of the comrade governor's administration, the proverbial fairy tale has turned into an unending nightmare. From sector to sector, and from one human endeavor to another.
And the government now, they are the one turning against the senior citizens of the state. It is very bad. You can see, there's no way this is done in anywhere, any part of the world.
We thought we alleviate every problem we have. That we answer him, we will have no problem. So here, you added more sorrows to our living.
26 months, no salary. My landlord now, he doesn't want to pack my load out. As I tell you now, my wife not there with me again.
The Oshiomhole administration has become a huge propaganda machine where the government's achievements exist only in the media and the pages of national newspapers. On the ground, the citizens wallow in poverty, squalor, inundated by broken and failed promises, wondering when their time in hell will come to an end. The Edo State Civil Service is comatose. Touts are appointed as permanent secretaries. There is 0% investment in agriculture and industries. Pensioners are unpaid for upwards of 42 months. Abandoned projects litter the state. There is massive unemployment of epic proportions.
There are no jobs, nothing is, no industry. And people have decided to go into self-help, by converting their houses, to make money.
We don't have a government that have built any industry or any means to create employment, apart from encouraging cultism and empowering touts to collect revenues.
While the government reel out several anti-people policies, we are saddled with a failed sports sector, 0% investment in entertainment, culture and tourism. There are summary and arbitrary demolition of homes, churches and businesses. There is a vagrant disregard for the rule of law, and Edo State has just witnessed the longest strike of workers in the judicial sector in the history of the nation.
Landmark industries that were the pride of the Edo peoples, such as Edo Line and Bende Breweries, have been shut down.
Salaries remain unpaid, particularly at the local government level. There is zero investment in human capital development, followed by an astronomical rise in tertiary education school fees. Needless to mention the shameless musical chair dramas in the state legislature that has turned the Edo State House of Assembly into a laughingstock. The tales of woes are more. A tenfold increase in the state's domestic debt profile and a crippling foreign debt in excess of $130 million as at the end of 2014. Over-bloated and over-invoiced cost of capital projects, unbridled disregard and public disrespect for elders and custodians of our age-long traditions by the governor.
I want to put him on notice. If he continues with elderly rascality, I will bring him to justice. When elders contest to take the first position, and an irresponsible old man, then the children must bring him to book.
There is a truncation of the democratic process and gross disregard for the Edo people by Oshiomole's unashamed imposition of candidates from ward, local government and now the state governorship. The list is endless. The man who rose to power on the platform of one man, one vote, no man is God, has reinvented himself as the new proverbial godfather, the diminutive emperor of Iyamo. The sports sector in Edo State has been a massive failure for the APC government. It's unimaginable that this is a state that produced the likes of Davison Ande, who was once the world amateur boxing champion. The mighty Bende Insurance Football Club once ruled the National League, producing world-class footballers. In 1985, 11 of the 18 players of the Golden Eaglets that won the first FIFA Under-17 World Cup in China were from the old Bende State and coached by an Edo man, Sebastian Broderick's Imaswen. Edo State produced star players Wilfred Agbonabare, Austin Egwavon, Sunday Eboigbe, Bright Omokaro aka 1010, Yakubu Ayegbeni, Julius Arawa, Pius Ikedia, Thompson Olia and Osaze Odemige. World-class players once or still claim Benin City as their home. Stephen Keshi, Henry Wosu played for the New Nigeria Bank. Eti Mesin, Michael Biku, YD Akoni and Samson Siasia played for Flash Flamingos, while Wilson Oruma played for the Great Bende Insurance. There were great Olympians like Peter Kunyegwashi and Brown Ebewele. Sadly today, Edo State athletes who won medals at the 2011 National Sports Festival in Port Harcourt and the ECO 2012 Sports Festival remain unemployed. For the first time ever, no single Edo-born footballer represented Nigeria at the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Under Adams Oshiomhole, sports in Edo State is dead. Today, Edo State is perhaps the most tax-unfriendly state in Nigeria. Individual and corporate citizens bear the burden of double, triple, or even multiple taxation. Motorpark touts are now the new technocrats, determining and enforcing state policies. Virtually, the Edo State government is ruled from the motorpark.
The SCG president, who condemned in strong terms the assault on some university lecturers and destructions of their vehicles by thugs allegedly acting on the instructions of the Edo State government.
Tony Kabaka, Osakbama Nomules. These are government-appointed thugs licensed by government to unleash terror on its hapless citizens. The poor is beaten to submission, and most raids and punitive expeditions of these thugs are often led by the comrade governor himself or by the Commissioner for the Environment, Prince Clement Agba. It is noteworthy that Prince Agba is married to Godwin Obaseki's younger sister. Several cases of the gross abuse of state power by Comrade Oshiomhole and his lieutenants are in the public domain and well documented.
The food we prepare for the week is gone. The pots were demolished. We are human beings. We are not animals. Even when the armies were in charge, they can't do this to fellow human beings. And we are even neighbors. We went twice to vote for Oshiomhole. Twice. Look at what they are using to pay us.
These range from summary assaults on hapless women.
I'm going to hospital to take off my son. Then Oshiomhole police hold me on the way. They hold me and start beating me. Look at my eye.
To the famed widow go and die episode that went viral on social media.
That you come here, you demolish people, you demolish human beings, you demolish the property that is not belongs to.
Pensioners in Edo State have become the most battered in the country. Several appeals and protests occur almost on a monthly, if not weekly basis. Old men and women in protest marches on the streets, sit-ins at the Ring Road King Square at the city center in Benin City have become common sights. In February this year, a 75-year-old pensioner, Pa Sunday Oboite, who had retired from the works department of the Oredo local government, slumped and died at the local government secretariat while fighting to get his pension.
Of the pensioner who slumped and died while waiting to be screened for his monthly entitlement.
I believe say
Now because never eat, now kill us so.
In a state where workers are unpaid for months and where pensioners slum and die while waiting in queues for unpaid entitlements, Governor Oshiomhole collects more than 70 million for every foreign trip, enough to pay the monthly wages of the more than 8,400 sacked Youth Empowerment Scheme workers for more than 2 months. The academic community has not been spared. The state-owned Ambrose Ali University has been virtually abandoned, while her students pay the highest school fees among state-owned universities in Nigeria. On the other hand, however, and within 7 months, Oshiomhole hurriedly established the Edo University in his native village of Iyamo. The Edo University in Iyamo is believed to be a private university in disguise, with close to 60% shareholding in undisclosed private equity. These equity shareholders are sheltered in an SPV or a special purpose vehicle warehoused by Afro-Invest, of course, which is Godwin Obaseki's private company. It is not out of place to deduce that the governor, Adams Oshiomhole, is forcing Godwin Obaseki on the people to protect their private financial interests, while imposing his foster brother, Philip Shaibu, to make sure Godwin Obaseki does not stray out of line. The Edo University Iyamo, originally called the University of Science and Technology Uzaire, is a tale of financial theft and unprecedented over-invoicing. There is the case of the cost of building the controversial institution's male hostel by an amorphous, hastily registered construction company, A&K Construction Limited. Although just 168 rooms, the hostel was awarded to A&K Construction Limited for a whopping sum of more than 1.88 billion naira. This means that the unit cost of one room is approximately 11.2 million naira per room. Outside of the more than 1.88 billion naira awarded to A&K Construction Limited, it was, among others, awarded the construction of a teaching hospital at the university at the whopping cost of more than 12.28 billion naira. They were provided an additional 1.228 billion to minimize the impact of currency fluctuations. This additional sum was taken or sourced by diverting funds already earmarked for the, unquote, construction of a new accident and emergency ward complex and renovation of existing structures in the Central Hospital, Benin City, unquote. All these were in memos originating from the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Health just 2 days to Christmas in 2015 in a file designated HROC.5/TABI/93. All approvals were all signed and obtained on the same 23rd December 2015, while payments were made on the 29th of December 2015. The federal government-owned University of Benin was also made to bear the brunt of Oshiomhole's disregard for the rule of law, when the university staff quarters were summarily demolished by the APC state government band of licensed thugs. This was why the dispute between the state and the university was still before the Federal Court of Appeal.
Oshiomhole, his aim is to humiliate the University of Benin and humiliate the Edo people by his unbecoming actions, and we are saddened by it. And everyone should know that by his actions, the APC has come to an end in Edo State.
And then came the 200,000 job scam. Before the 2012 election, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole promised to create 10,000 jobs annually, when he engaged 8,420 casual workers earning averagely 15,000 naira per month in his youth empowerment scheme. Yes, all of these casual workers were sacked shortly after his re-election for second term. It is thus baffling that a government that could not sustain 8,420 casual workers in 8 years now preaches continuity and promises to create 200,000 jobs per annum. It sounds more like a 200,000 job scam.
When I get work for here, the youth, when I get anything when I do.
The famed red roof public schools are perhaps the most barefaced deceits of the APC. Only schools on the highway are renovated and at colossal and massively inflated sums, averaging 65 million naira for a bungalow block of 6 classrooms. This approximates more than 10 million naira per renovated classroom. More so, these schools were renovated before 2012 in the first term of the Oshiomhole administration. From 2008 to date, the APC administration has not constructed one single new school. Today, in most of the schools, pupils and students sit on the floor to receive lectures. It is noteworthy that the Red Roof schools were financed via 70% grant of the PDP federal government-funded UBE.
In our classes, when rain is falling, everywhere is leaking. So the children will be excusing themselves in one corner so that rain will not fall upon them.
You can see for yourself the other classes, like primary 1 to 3, there are no good classrooms. We are appealing to the state government to come and give us good classes.
Your Excellency, I am privileged to address you as my brother, my comrade Dr. Goodluck, Jonathan, my
Governor Adams Oshiomhole has built a reputation of talking from both sides of his mouth. His uncanny insincerity has become an art. In his own words, he eulogizes his predecessor, Chief Lucky Igbenedion.
He's a very good friend. As you can see, I'm here dining and whining. He has capacity to listen and to utter very few words. But I know that Lucky is as hardworking as somebody who is struggling to make tomorrow's bread. I think for me, those values of hard work, it's the most important thing in life.
At a convocation ceremony at the Benson Idahosa University, where Pastor Osage Izeyamo was bestowed with an honorary doctorate degree, Governor Oshiomhole described Pastor Izeyamo as a political hero.
A friend, a brother, a colleague, a political warrior, and a man who only recently was the Director General of my campaign organization. And as I'm sure you all know,
on June 22, 2012, in a personally signed and dated letter on the occasion of Pastor Izeyamo's 50th birthday, Governor Adams Oshiomhole sent Pastor Izeyamo a goodwill message, unquote.
For yours has been an exemplary life dedicated to service. Politics should be a call to duty. In you is a perfect illustration. I salute your foresight. If ACN is today formidable in Edo, it is only a reflection of the sterling leadership you have provided. Having distinguished yourself in administration, evangelism, politics, and lately farming, I believe your sun has just begun to rise.
Signed, sincerely yours, Comrade Adams Aliyu Oshiomhole MNI, Governor of Edo State. One now wonders why Oshiomhole, who so brazenly praised Pastor Osage Izeyamo, finds him at the butt of every of his problem. Then came the Channels TV Edo governorship debates. Millions of Edo people have never heard Godwin Obaseki speak until just days to the election.
In my career, I started my working career in the mid-80s as a stockbroker. From Cap.
Many viewers were shocked that Mr. Godwin Obaseki, someone who is probably a family man, did not show any feeling or empathy during a debate that lasted almost 2 hours. Local government workers who have not been paid for upward of 6 months were summarily dismissed by Godwin Obaseki as if their lives did not matter.
The government you serve, the current APC government, is owing local government workers, some of them for as much as 18 months. And you're the candidate of that party. How do you respond to people who say that is not the kind of continuity we are looking for?
The point is that Edo State government is not owing local government workers, because Edo State government is not responsible for local government salaries. Local governments in Edo State, as far as I know, are autonomous and independent. They are autonomous and independent, and that is the fact.
The constitution has not been amended yet to grant autonomy to local governments. So as far as the constitution stands right now, local governments are not autonomous. They are still the responsibility of the state governments. And when
we wonder that you are the chairman of the economic team of the present government, you've talked about how you will block leakages in the local government area. But when we wonder, why are you not doing this now? Why is it when you want to be governor that you are thinking about this?
Here again, the issues have come up because they are autonomous.
The unadvertised tale of Godwin Obaseki prior to his rehabilitation as the chairman of Governor Adams Oshiomhole's economic team since December 2008 is a long tale of woe. On January 18, 2011, the Nigerian Stock Exchange, due to non-compliance with market requirements, suspended Godwin Obaseki's company, AfriInvest. In a statement released to the press on January 20, 2011, AfriInvest acknowledged that, unquote, the firm's trading privileges have been suspended at the opening of business on January 18, 2011 by the Nigerian Stock Exchange due to non-compliance, unquote. Furthermore, AfriInvest, a company founded by Godwin Obaseki and of which he was executive vice chairman, CEO, and now chairman, has been embroiled in a major financial scam involving the MTN Teleops Fund since January 2008. The MTN Teleops Fund is a closed fund which Godwin Obaseki's company sold to private investors who invested solely in the shares of MTN Nigeria. Several aggrieved investors cried foul, alleging that they have been shortchanged by AfriInvest, making them lose their investments running into millions of US dollars. In fact, they created a chat room in 2011 on the stock exchange website at www.stockmarketnigeria.com/forums under the heading AfriInvest fund or fraud manager. It occasioned hashtags such as how to solve a fraud like AfriInvest and Grand Theft Stocks. On August 9, 2016, Godwin Obaseki and two expatriate directors of KCA Deutag were dragged before a federal high court over the alleged misappropriation and embezzlement of funds approximately 5.567 billion naira by the Idisi family. The family had earlier in the year petitioned the EFCC and the National Assembly. KCA Deutag is a drilling and oil service company belonging to the late Chief Humphrey Irikefe Idisi, who hails from Sapele in Delta State. On the 30th of July 2002, KCA Deutag Nigeria Limited entered into a drilling workover contractual agreement with late Chief H.I. Idisi. Chief H.I. Idisi died in 2009, and since his demise, the management of KCA Deutag Nigeria Limited have not remitted its entitlements according to the agreements reached by the administrators of his estate, totaling about 5.56 billion naira. The case is presently in court. It is pertinent to ask, did Godwin Obaseki use his position as economic advisor to the governor of Edo State to negotiate huge commissions for his venture capital company? It is clear that Godwin Obaseki is an unrepentant venture capitalist and not an economist, and venture capitalists are hawks. It is on record that AfriInvest sourced and still manages the 25 billion naira loan for the failed Edo stormwater project. At the prevalent 2% flat rate AfriInvest charges for its mutual fund services and the 0.25% it charges as management fees, the once close to bankrupt venture capitalist outfit could have carted home about 500 million naira at 2% flat rate and an average of 65.5 million naira, representing 0.25% management fee per annum for one deal alone. The only non-certificate of the almost 60-year-old Mr. Godwin Obaseki at the tertiary or university level is his graduation from the University of Ibadan in 1979 with a second-class lower division degree in classics, a branch of literature that deals with ancient Greek and Roman literature. This makes him more at home with the study of ancient Greek poets and dramatists like Aristotle than the finance and economic guru status that is currently being ascribed to him by the media and his apologists. Mr. Godwin Obaseki's alleged MBA, Masters in Business Administration, is not listed on the roll call of either the Columbia University nor Pace University in New York as claimed by his profile on his website. Also, his claimed year of graduation from either universities are not published. It is also curious that Mr. Godwin Obaseki did not have credit passes in both economics and English language at school certificate level when he passed out of the Ewosa Anglican Grammar School in Benin City in 1973. It is a big wonder how a failed student in economics at school certificate level and with a degree in Greek and Roman classics and an unverifiable claim to an MBA is being paraded as a guru in economics and finance. Mr. Godwin Obaseki was first appointed as economic advisor in December 2008. Ever since, he has served as a de facto number 2 man in Adams Oshiomhole's government. However, many might wonder why Godwin Obaseki never cared about his constituency. His father's house at Erieme Street, right at the heart of the city in Iyaru, lies desolate and abandoned. Erieme Street is the main street linking the busy Iyaru area with Wire Road. Today, the street is unpassable with massive potholes and in a total state of disrepair. How can someone with little empathy and who cannot fix his father's street have the empathy and passion to fix Edo State? Honorable Philip Shaibu is the younger foster brother of Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. It is common knowledge that Philip's father, who was a clergy with the Evangelical Church of West Africa, ECWA, in Kaduna, adopted a young Adamu Aliyu Oshiomhole and trained him as a child and got him employed as a textile mill worker in Kaduna. Oshiomhole grew up as Philip Shaibu's father's adopted son. When the elder Shaibu passed away, Governor Oshiomhole funded a near-state burial for his foster father. Honorable Philip Shaibu has had several brushes with the courts, becoming the most notorious of legislators when he was a member of the Edo State House of Assembly. He's been charged for assault, thuggery, and forgery. Presently, Philip Shaibu, the man APC wants Edo people to vote in as deputy governor, has been arraigned before the High Court in Benin City on a 6-count charge over his alleged forgery of tax documents by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC.
Presiding Judge, Justice Esohe Ikponwe, announced the adjournment of all proceedings for the day. While no reason was given for the adjournment, a new date was fixed for 24th October 2016 for continuation of hearing. The former majority leader of Edo State House of Assembly, who is now the APC deputy governorship candidate, Mr. Philip Shaibu, is being arraigned by the ICPC on a 6-count charge bordering on alleged forgery of tax documents.
The land use charge is perhaps the most vexed and anti-people policy of the Oshiomhole administration. It was passed in a bill brought before the State House of Assembly in 2013. The land use bill was presented and read on the floor of the House by the then Majority Leader of the Edo State House of Assembly, Honorable Philip Shaibu. Mr. Philip Shaibu, who today is the running mate of Mr. Godwin Obaseki as Deputy Governorship candidate, can rightly be described as the father of the Land Use Charge Act. In the last few months, and as elections draw near, the state government has gone silent on the vexed land use charge issue without repealing the act. Is it his game plan to hunt innocent citizens after the election by the imposition of the author of the Land Use Act on the people as deputy governor? It is indeed curious that in order to perpetrate his barely veiled third-term agenda, Governor Oshiomhole has foisted on the APC a governorship and deputy governorship candidate with histories of fraudulent and doubtable characteristics. It is the duty of the Edo people to summarily reject these mischievous impositions. To most Nigerians, the APC has failed abysmally. The Nigerian nation went to the polls on March 28, 2015, yearning for change. But a year and a half later, these hopes appear dashed. The APC government has served the nation an unpalatable bitter pill in all spheres of human endeavor. The economy is broken. The sectarian conflicts, be it Boko Haram, the Biafra agitation, or a resurgent conflict by the Niger Delta Avengers, are unending. The APC have not fulfilled any of its campaign promises. 1 meal per day for school children, 5,000 naira unemployment benefit for the millions of unemployed youths, 3 million jobs to be created in 1 year, reduction in the domestic pump price of petroleum products, cancellation of a supposedly non-existent fuel subsidy, and many more. To many, APC is a new acronym meaning all promises cancelled. Prices of domestic commodities have risen astronomically and inflation is on a spiral. As at December 2015, a bag of rice sold for 8,500 naira. Today, it is more than 21,500 and rising. In the twilight of the Jonathan administration, Nigeria grew to become Africa's largest economy, overtaking South Africa after a rebasing of the nation's GDP. That seems such a distant memory now. On the 1st of September 2016, Nigeria officially entered a recession. This is according to figures released by the Minister of Finance and corroborated by the National Bureau of Statistics. In the last days of the Jonathan administration, the dollar exchange rate was $1 to 196 naira. But as at 1st September 2016, the dollar exchanged for 420 naira. This is the lowest the nation's currency has ever crashed or fallen since the introduction of the naira as our national currency by the General Gowon administration in January 1973. Worse still, there appears no light at the end of the tunnel. The APC government is rudderless, clueless. We are a nation adrift. From a campaign promise to create 3 million jobs in the first year in office, Nigeria has lost 4 million jobs in 9 months under the APC. Job creation index is negative. Labor productivity has dropped to a 50-year low in percentage terms. And according to the National Bureau of Statistics, inflation has hit the roof and the nation's GDP is on a downward spiral. For the common man in 2016, life has become unbearable. Even Africa's richest man is not spared. Nigerian billionaire Aliko Dangote's fortune has fallen by 35% this year alone, representing a loss of $5.4 billion as a result of the APC government devaluation of the naira in June. This according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. In naira terms, Dangote has lost 1.89 trillion naira in just 2016 alone. On Tuesday, 6th of September 2016, a delegation of APC leaders and governors arrives at Edo State to campaign for Obaseki. Let's stop to ask ourselves, what is the message of those governors to the proud people of Edo State? That a dollar is now 420 naira, that fuel is 145 naira, that a bag of rice which they met at 8,500 naira now sells for over 21,000 naira, that cement rose from 1,650 to 2,500 naira overnight, that inflation has hit double digits and the GDP is in the negative, that over 4 million Nigerians have lost their jobs and have been thrown into the unemployment market as against the 3 million jobs per annum the APC government promised to create, that recent elections in Rivers, Kogi, Imo and Bayelsa states have been conducted in the most brazenly incompetent and inconclusive manners.
Is this an election? Massive rigging here. Are you seeing? Is it an election?
That the Fulani headsmen have technically replaced the Boko Haram terrorists to unleash a new reign of terror and mayhem on Nigerians. That the states in the federation that cannot pay salaries and pensions are mostly APC states. How do Edo people perceive this reckless, unfeeling, inhuman band of negative change bearers? One can't stop to wonder what their retinue of aides and the siren crazy autocracy will do to sway the votes of all Edo peoples in their favor. Nigerians are tired. Edo people will tell the APC that we see through their litany of deceit. Why did INEC suddenly postpone the Edo governorship elections even when it had assured a day before that they were ready? And why this sudden and dubious claim by the police of an impending terrorist attack in Edo State that has no such previous history of terrorist activities? How come elections had held in Boko Haram states of Borno, Adamawa and Yobe, and even a few months before in Rivers and Bayelsa states? Is it to create fear so as to scare the peace-loving people from exercising their franchise? Why put the election on a weekday, a Wednesday? Is it to create a voter apathy and thus discourage people going to the polls so as to record a low voter turnout so they can rig the elections? This change is evil personified. This change is anti-people. On the 28th of September, our PVCs will speak for all Edo peoples. On the 28th of September, our thumbs will stamp out the clueless APC. On Wednesday, the 28th of September, Edo people must change. They change.